I'm live. Hello, everybody. How you doing? No one's on yet, so never mind how you doing. Just in case for people on the playback, how are you doing? It's probably better off saying that, isn't it? Let's wait for a few. Steve Garner, howdy, mate. How you doing on this pretty mild evening? Yes, guys. Green King, Silver Legion, Kim Pickott. Yes. Good to see you all out and about. Nice one. Thank you for jumping on. Indica, Kat, hello. Stephen, Danny, hello all. So far, the usual suspects are coming out. Good to see. Thank you for jumping on, guys. Really, thank you. They always say this, don't I? It's always an impromptu stream. Hello, Rick. You all right? Zimmer, 651. Stockport, Andy. Yes. Yes, mate. Not too far from me, I guess. Thank you very much. Really humbly, right? Well, this come about, this strange little topic, ironically, because of the last uploads that I've just done, and Kat will tell you the topic. The topic being about Wayward Art Gallery under the guise of gender identity are really kind of showing what you could regard as sexual perverted fetishes, and kind of wheeling that information out to teachers, then to wheel it out to kids. Kids are also invited to go and view it. There's also camp days and whatnot. So that was that video. And then also with that video, it showed like a more broader view of it, as if to say that we're not the only ones going through it. Yes, Steve-O, yes. So we want the broader picture was the world's going through this. You could name a country and they're probably getting the same kind of legislation, the same implementations that are hitting the kids just like they're hitting our kids. So not to say that this topic is hitting kids, but kids primarily could have ramifications from this. And also you could argue as well that is it a sexual aid or a sexual perversion? That is the bottom line. I stumbled across this program by accident. I don't watch TV. For me, where it started, my wife had a birthday on the 17th of June. Okay, that's when I know this was out. We went out for a lovely meal with the family, and when we got back, the wife wanted to watch a bit of TV. Not wrong with that. I had my laptop out and I was just about to stick my headphones on and get into it. The wife turned the Sky on, and the information bar come up underneath, and it kind of told you what program was on, and it said Channel 5, something like sex dolls and whatnot. So I looked, and then it had a quick image of some guy with two dolls, and it almost instantly I was like intrigued, not out of a perverted way, not that at all, but just like what's going on here? Because particularly what I thought is what they're doing showing this on telly. Well, yeah, Dolly Daydream, you're right. Worldwide pedos getting arrested. It's a sexual perversion that's now just manifesting itself out now and kicking down that Overton window, in it really. And when they're showing programs like this, if any of you have seen it, then you'll know exactly what you mean in terms of Watershed. It was on at 10 o'clock, this program, but for what it was showing in the content, it was pretty fruity. Let's say, put it that way. So basically, when my wife, I couldn't say to my wife, right, I want to watch this, because I think it had already started anyway. Because I know what she's going to look at me like. You know what I mean? Heterosexual male all of a sudden wants to watch a program about sex dolls, and she's not going to give me the look. So I just said to her, said, can you just record this for me? And she still gave me the look. I mean, I didn't get away with it. She still gave me that bleeding look. And then she just carried on watching her program. I don't either, Cat. And like I say, I stumbled across it and just sheer out of curiosity. I wanted to know more. But programs like this must be on all the time, and I wouldn't know. I seriously wouldn't know. I only stumbled across this. So it's left a kind of quite an ingrained mark on my head, seriously. So what the program was called, it was one of three documentaries, and the title of the documentaries was Sex Business, or The Sex Business. And then the first one, this was the first one, it was Sex Dolls, and there's three different episodes. Now, talking about the dolls, it predominantly spoke about a lady who was a business owner in this country in Birmingham called Jade, a mother of four. Now she already had an initial business with this in terms of renting the sex dolls out. Now let me explain what the sex doll is. If people, I'm sure you all know, but we're talking pretty prosthetic dolls, really, kind of very much lifelike in all manner of different ways, and very much exaggerated. You can get them custom made. You can do all kinds, different colors, different whatever you want, piercings, the bloody lot. It makes it so realistic. And even within this program, it spoke about AI sex dolls, which it's shown a little bit of an ace freaker on that level, as if to say, well, the future, where's the future for human beings? Because if you do convince man to get into AI sex dolls, then boy, it might save him a few quid, but Jesus Christ, what's that going to leave? But so anyway, it shows a point of view from this business lady who, like I say, started off renting and then went into branch out herself in terms of making the models, and even then getting 3D prints of porn stars, different porn stars, mainly women, and then hoping to capture that niche market of men that want a doll that looks like their perfect frigging porn star. And they are lifelike. They've got the piercings. Honestly, the 3D photos, it takes a photo of every part of them. Honestly, every part. The women there, good job they're in porn, because they're there with their legs spread wide while the guy's just taking a close-up photo so he can then put it in with his data that's going to make an accurate 3D portrayal of it. It's like, what the? It's weird. Imagine doing that for a day job. So there was also an American geezer who was more in the rental and maintenance. I think it was like California or something like that. He had a child, or a boy, and it spoke about him. There was then a YouTuber, or I think he was a YouTuber, that had the channel predominantly for testing the dolls out. And he would be filming himself testing it. My action man wasn't that detailed. Let me get a few of those. Honestly, the connotation with this, he just sends you off into different directions. So, and then it also focused on a man who worked behind the bar. I can't remember his name. He was talking to the initial business lady from Birmingham, and he was quite open to give it a try. So within this program, he'd hired one, or they might have provided one for him, to his home. He took it upstairs and he tested it out. But he tested it out while it was being filmed, right? So you've got just all kinds of craziness going on. I've missed that last comment. So you can imagine a program like that. I mean, where do you go? Where do you want to start? Is it a sexual aid? Is it a sexual aid? Well, the lady of the husband of the lady who was running this business, this Jade, he mentioned in the documentary about we're going to find this very awkward explaining what we do for a living in the school playground, you know, when you're picking up your kids. But then he soon lost that train of thought because he thought to himself, well, it's money. We're making money. So they both seen it as a kind of lucrative business, and it is. Let me tell you. I don't know whether you guys, I'm not up on this, but I only found out today. The actual sex doll business is estimated to be $35 billion industry by the year 2020. That's next year. $35 fucking billion in dolls. People who want to have relationships with dolls, people who want to have sex with dolls, people who want to fantasize and create fucking personas for dolls, people who have socially, probably a social leper, or they've got some kind of social deficiency, so they gain the fucking love through the doll. Like someone in that same position may do it for the dog, but you're not going to bend the dog over your bed. There was weird shit. Well, I don't know whether you're talking to me there, Kat, but it was certainly Marxist. It was like literally cultural Marxism to kind of show such a sexually toxic way of thinking in terms of the man, woman, you know, how they fucking procreate. It was a flip on that. It was like Rome. It was just like, well, if you want to shag a plant pot, I'm sorry for the language, but hey ho, let's do a documentary about it because I'm sure there's more than you that wants to do it. It had that element of perversion about it, but then it had the elements of, there was one guy in it, fucking hell, one guy, he was an older chap. He mustn't get out a lot, let's put it that way. He must be a little bit of a social leper, a social retard, you know, not very confident around women, don't feel, you know, that he's got any chance of getting a woman, or maybe don't feel attractive, whatever, that will happen. And, you know, shit, we all grew up feeling like that anyway, you know what I mean? I'm no different. But this guy, then, he's found solace in two dolls. Complete freaking solace. Now, when I say that, I mean, he's bought two customized dolls that he's customized himself. So they don't just come with they come with the normal kind of pale skin color. And now he's got one that's green and then one that's like a off orange color. The green one's dressed as an elf, and the orange one's dressed as some like fucking superhero queen or something. I don't know. And it's the strangest thing, because the guy sat there with them. He's sitting him on his lap. He's rubbing the thighs. He's having conversations with him. He says he never has sex with him. So that's even weirder. That's weird. I mean, not to say, oh, well, it's all right if you want to go and bang that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that at all, but it's like, well, then that's where this sex doll shit really, because on a mental level, who is that doll actually appealing to? Is it a safe mental level that is then acceptable in society? But ironically, the liberalized media and the Marxist media will then be propagating this shit to you, when in fact it's the most toxic thing against the family you could actually put on for so many reasons. So this geezer's literally, he doesn't have sex with him, but he'll end up masturbating. He'll put a porno on and it was showing it. It had his face blanked out. It didn't blank out the dolls' faces. They were doxed. You know what I mean? They had no fucking say in the matter. And he's just there banging one out. And I thought, what is going on? And I'm sure there wouldn't have been a cameraman there. I'm sure that would have been just footage he's filmed, because I wouldn't want to be that cameraman that's doing that documentary that's on this day. I've got to go and film a guy jacking one off with two fucking superhero oh, one as an elf and one as a superhero next to him. It was sick. They were trying to put it across as if these are AIDS, as if it may appease people with, you know, severe sexual appetites, or it may actually quell hints of rapes and sexual violence. But then going to another guy who's in it, a YouTuber, who tests the dolls openly and freely on fucking YouTube. I don't know his page, and I'm not subbed to him, by the way. He goes on how rigorous they are, how much they can take. So you think, what is going on? This is like Rome. This is like Rome. When you're doing things like this, right? When you've got such low self-esteem, right? That you're going to get a life-size Barbie and you're going to be banging it in your bed, right? There's something not right there. That cannot be acceptable. That should not be filmed. And if it is filmed, you keep that in your fucking bottom drawer, underneath your towels, underneath whatever else you've got in there. You don't air it on national TV. You've got a geezer. Like I say, he hires him. Well, he decided to do it. He decided to come out for the purpose of this documentary and hire it. So it come as like a big flight case. You all know what flight cases are. When you get musical instruments, you got to travel. You get them in these big kind of robust steel cases. You know, the black, the white, whatever, with the steel corners. He rolls up, whoever's brought it, in one of them. Looks more like a fucking body that's going to come out. Well, it is. Seriously, it's like a coffin. So he can't wait in. When the door knocks, he's already got no top on. He's probably got his lube and everything ready. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, what? Got a big tattoo on his arm. He's like, yeah, but you know, and it's the narrator is saying, well, you know, this is the first time someone's going to have sex with a doll that's been kind of shot for the purpose of this. So he's breaking new ground here. So he drags the freaking coffin upstairs, pulls it out, sticks it on the bed. Then he starts talking about the pros and cons on how it feels. You know what I mean? And like, really? I mean, I don't know. This guy seemed a confident guy that could talk, you know? So it's like, I don't think he's got self-esteem problems. He was just up for trying it. I'm like, what? Seriously? So he then starts bending it in different positions, and you're seeing him getting him in the kind of what you would put half a dozen traditional positions. And then he's articulating the pros and cons on how easy it is to manipulate the body in that position. And it's like, for fuck's sake, he's really breaking this down. So he then starts talking about, you need a lot. I wondered how long it was been before I do this. He started talking about how much lube he's going to need. And he was saying, listen, you've got to put a lot. It's not funny. This ain't funny. But there's something so twisted about it that whenever I've explained this to anyone, I've ended up cracking up laughing, because it's perverse, but it's weird. And because it's weird, I'm grabbing amusement out of it, even though there's nothing funny, even though it's twisted, even though if my kid sees that, even though Ofcom got the most complaints about this, with all 3 of the episodes, apparently, I do believe. So he's talking about how much lube, because it's not quite the real thing and all this kind of stuff. Next thing you know, I'm going to try and describe the scene. He's showing the scene of the whole bed, right? He's stood up on the other side of the bed. Fuck all on. But it's not blurting his face out. He's not blurting anything out because he's got the doll in front of him, yeah? He then proceeds to do a bit of backdooring, let's say. You know what I mean? Now, what makes it even funnier is that the guy's bed was squeaky as fuck. It was like, you know, when you're a teenager and you can imagine you try to grab a little squeaky quickie with your girlfriend while your parents are downstairs, but the bed's like, it was like that. It was so surreal to watch. And the guy he's going like a stallion. And I'm just looking at it and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Now, I've got to make you understand my perspective here now. I'm watching this for educational purposes. As much as I'm detesting this, as much as it's twisted, I'm fucking fascinated. Because I'm wondering what is going through the mind of these people doing this. It's fucking doll abuse. You know what I mean? A dollar's got rights, surely. What the fuck are you doing to that? It's like, imagine you've seen the film Toy Story, right? You know when every time the door shuts, the toys come to life. Imagine if them dolls come back to life when he's gone to work. They must be thinking, you dirty bastard. Shoved it in every hole, you dirty git. I'm sorry, it might be my twisted mind, but seriously, it's not right. It is not right. Oh my God. So I'm sorry, I'm trying not to be graphic here. I'm trying not, but I've got to explain it. Oh, for God's sake. Right, and it also showed it don't always apply to men. There's a lot of women, apparently, that have these sex dolls. Oh, yes, women. Yeah, it's not just men. There's women that go out do this kind of stuff, yeah. There's actually what they call real doll brothels. I'm sure people have heard that. Oh, real doll brothels. Now, there was a woman, I think she was Norwegian. I'm almost certain she was Norwegian. And she tried a brothel out for the first time. Now, I'm assuming it's going to be a brothel that's, you know, got loads of people everywhere with fucking dolls swinging all over the place. I didn't know what to expect, but it's quite an intimate thing. You've got your own little room. And then I'm not selling it. I'm not selling it here by any means. And I don't know whether you can have music, whatever. But the dolls just lay there waiting. You know what I mean? Like, are you ready? And, you know, you do what you want. And this woman got up and rode that pony. And she was doing the same thing. She was kind of critiquing it, but not as she's doing it. It was like, I'm sorry. But kind of afterwards, the afterthought was she thought about it. And, oh, this is some freaky shit. And it's the mind of people in it. And you know what's worrying? The fact that this is going to be a $38 billion industry. What does that tell you? That tell you that there's a lot of people with fucking dolls right at this moment in time doing the tango, yeah? And if it's consensual, then there's not a lot, but there's still a twisted element, and there's still a sordidness of, I mean, one of the arguments, you could actually appease paedophilia, because they do dolls for apparently paedophiles in this fashion as well. I can't see that argument because he's still fulfilling his urge. So what you've got to do, you've got to try and get that urge out of someone rather than give him a doll. You know what I mean? It's not a fucking stress ball, is it? You know what I mean? It's something different. So then when this paedophile then gets into an environment where he might see a child, then that 5 years that he's had that doll, there's been no rehabilitation there whatsoever. There's only been the garnishing of the urge. So then what is he likely to do? If he'd have been rehabilitated, or at least maybe it wouldn't have worked. Maybe you can't rehabilitate. Maybe you can't. Who knows? But giving him a fucking doll, seriously. So there's all different angles to it. There's all different conversations, and that's why, like I say, as much as this is sick, you can get some humor out of it. There's a bit of a sordid element to it, and I think this doll and these dolls and this program shown a variable kind of type of person that gets this, not just your average Joe Blogs, because the barman was just like a Jack the Lad. You'd probably see him in his early 30s at a bar chatting to girls. He would be the one that would go home with a beard at night, you know what I mean? He's that kind of guy. So you'll get that kind of guy that's just up for trying anything. Well, give me a milk bottle, I'll fucking give it a go, you know what I mean? All the way to people that literally have got social issues, all the way to people that fantasize that these are actually real people and don't even want to have sex with them. So I don't know how this woman, this Jade, who've 4 children, 4 young children, I don't know how she can justify it and just say it's a business. Of course it's a business, and there's always an element that if you don't make the money off it, some other git's going to make it, because it's 38 billion, so someone's going to grab it. So even if you've got the moral high standard and you can't do that, then your next door neighbour's going to get on it. So some people are that, I don't care, I'll do it. But then I looked and I thought to myself, there's a funny angle to this, because obviously it was a heterosexual couple. They've got 4 children. Jade is the lady. I don't know what the husband was called. Imagine 2 years after setting this business, yeah, she does all this 3D imaging, starts making all these replica porn stars that look absolutely mint. They fly off the shelves, as it were. Say she comes home from a ladies' night out one night, yeah, and she catches her husband with one of these fucking porn stars bent over the bed, giving it yeehaws. What's she going to say then? Is she still going to think that? I know it is, mate. It is. But what's going to happen? So what are you actually doing? Are you actually doing it for the money, or are you, what I'm probably trying to say is, are you developing a monster? Are you developing a monster? It's very immoral making baby. Making these is immoral, really, because you know what? Men or women shouldn't be trying to get sexual urges off dolls. They shouldn't be trying to see them as a persona, as a human being. How can anyone see inanimate objects as as a kid? Fucking hell, you're Action Man, you're Barbie. Oh, we're having some tea, Barbie. Here's your tea, don't spill it. We all remember that. Well, not with Barbie, with Action Man. Yeah. But this, when you're a grown person, seriously, the guy's paying bills. I don't know what the fuck's up with him. I don't know if he's got a job. What jobs are these people doing? What are they doing? Are they working with kids? That's another connotation. You know what I mean? I don't care, right? I'm not being funny, and I'm assuming it's the same for most of the people on here. Can't speak for everyone. But for as much as this program was trying to flaunt that it's okay to do it, how many people are going to go outside, go to a pub, start chatting to someone and say, well, you know what, I don't need to chat her up there because I've got my own fucking green elf at home. I'm going to have 10 shades of fucking grey with her when I get back. You know what I mean? It's like, what? You just don't. So that, it tells you, to me, it's more of a perversion that's being relived. You know what I mean? I don't get it. And even if you've got social issues, you don't fucking get over that by having a life-size doll. You know what I mean? You just don't. It's just something very weird and wrong. I mean, I don't even know whether this guy was cooking tea for it and that. I don't know. But there was, like I say, there was more. It was intriguing, but it was weird. There was the guy that worked in California or whatever, and his part of the industry was renting them and maintaining them, renting them. And the brothel also, oh, what? So the cleaning. Imagine the cleaning process. Imagine. Would you want to do that? Fucking hell. So it's like the guy's got these dolls on a bench, like it's a fucking patient, right? And it's ripped. It's ripped. I don't know what had been going on with this fucking doll. I don't know what. But this guy's casually talking about these repairs. Honestly, the vagina was ripped, the mouth was ripped, the feet looked like it had been dragged on the floor. And he's like, casual as you fucking like, oh yeah, we'll just put a bit of silicone in here, we'll just put a bit of mesh in and glue that back together there. And I'm thinking, are you not thinking of the dirty bastard that's totally abused that? Are you not? Are you just going to totally forget that and just, right, it's a job? Seriously, I cannot do that job. No way. And he's got an actual kid himself. And he said he's expressed it to his children or child about it. And, you know, his child thought it was a bit weird, really. But then don't really go into it too much. So it's like, because it is weird, you try to normalize it, but you can't normalize weird. But in this world we live in, Channel 5 are trying to do their best to normalise weird. Crazy. Exactly. How hard do you have to bang a sex doll to replace its arsehole? They do replace them. They've got the little cavities. They pop them in and out. It's minging. I mean, what are you doing with it? What are you doing with it? I don't want to go any further than that because the mind paints a picture, doesn't it? So that picture's already been painted in everyone who's watching that. What are you doing with it? And if that was a human being, would you be doing that? Seriously, because that is violent. That is violent. If that was a woman who had to go to the hospital, well, what's up with you? Oh, you know, my vagina's just ripped. Oh, you know, my mouth's just split open a bit more than, oh, my ear socket's a bit bleeding. I'm sorry, guys, but it's all relative. We're talking every fucking orifice would have been used, wouldn't it? You know, I'm sorry, Julie. I know. And I don't mean to be profound, don't mean to be graphic, and I'm trying not to be that graphic, but we've still got to go there to a degree because it kind of shows a story of what you're doing. You know what I mean? If everyone's got a sex life, they do what they do it in your house. Don't tell no one. Don't film that shit. Don't upload it. You know what I mean? Just don't. And if you like your kinky shit, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Don't be putting it on there. Don't. Liberalism is eating itself. Because this is going back. This to me is like, it won't be long before they'll be filming having sex with animals. It even shown in that last video, this is where it's all relevant. If anyone got onto it, within it, there was a document that was circulated by the UN that was saying that it was almost all right to have sex with non-consenting males or animals. So what they're doing, is that not what you call lowering the bar? What the fuck? So how long is it going to be before you can marry one? You know what I mean? And then what if we have a society where people do decide to have that, and that becomes the norm? You got people with fucking horses walking around everywhere. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't laugh because he's showing me and me twisted up shit. You know what I mean? But you got to laugh because it's weird. It's perverted. It's not right. So was the doll Julie. It's just not right, guys. It's not right, and it's just another angle. I mean, this was on at 10 o'clock, so. But I know plenty of my my youngest. She's up till 10. Maybe she shouldn't be. She's nearly 13, but she's up till 10. So even if she wasn't planning on watching this, there's every chance that she could have stumbled across it. And I don't want my kids seeing that. Because imagine if you as an adult, a mature adult, can't work out what the fuck they're doing with a doll, why they would want to do it with a doll, whether you're a man or a woman. You can't. I still can't. How's a kid going to work that out? And then if a kid sees that on a regular basis, would that not be then a form of mental conditioning? So then the kid sees the society of, well, yeah, my dad's got a fucking doll. You know, every time the missus, he has an argument with, you know, my mum, he drags the doll out to the shed. You know what I mean? He's like, what? What's going on? I mean, that's not actually a bad idea. But I mean, you know, it's positive. Donkeys. Are you showing your fetish there, Matt Tavish? I mean, the positive side, look at the money you'd save. Think of the litigation cost that it would save. Marrying a doll, having sex with a doll. Doll's never going to argue, never going to do, you know, so I can see it from that angle, you know, and you can do whatever you want. And you've got, like with the AI, you can have preset kind of statements. So you can get it to talk to you how you want, whatever you want. So it is literally about fulfilling your ultimate desire. But really, then you're going away, it does become for me then a bit of perversion, because your ultimate desire should be consensual sex between a man and a woman. Adam and Eve. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not sure to buy the fucking breaking the rib and all of a sudden Eve's there. But like, shit, I don't know whether I'm buying that. But generally, you know, to me, that's my perception. And not to say that, you know, homosexuality, gay, that's whatever. Consensual, do what you want, do it in your own house, do it, fine. I don't kind of promote my sexuality, you don't promote yours, fine, we'll fucking live our own lives. Life will be sweet, you know? So it's not any kind of bigotry or anything. It's when it's overtly flaunted in any of the regards, whether it be a man and a woman that are overtly flaunting it, that is distasteful. Whether it be two men that are overtly flaunting it, that is very distasteful. Whether it be two women that are flaunting it, that is distasteful. Any of them, whilst I've got my kids around me, I won't be happy if I'm clocking a couple doing that. And they know that there's people around, and they know, you know, everyone can have a kiss and a cuddle and all that, but you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you've got to look at it from all grounds, I guess. But same again, $35 billion industry tells you that the world is turning. The world is turning. The internet, you can stream all kinds of desires, all kinds of fetishes. I mean, I'm doing a stream about this. I guarantee that this is probably one of the most mildest fetishes that you could actually stream about anyway. Seriously. I should have tapped that in just on what kind of fetishes. I always struggle saying that word. But, I mean, I was looking at some articles on it, and there's some that's slating it, talking about the social implications because of it. Others are talking about the fact that one sex doll owner, this is one sex doll owner, this is in the Mirror, online in the Mirror, sex doll owner to leave his mannequins cash in his will, but he won't sleep with them. So what's going on there? Now, it's up to him, it's his money, but what's the fucking doll going to do with it? What is the doll going to do with it? So, what? I don't get it. Does he actually think that doll is a living fucking being? Because if that's the case, he needs to go in a loony bin. Because there's not, what are you going to do? You put the doll, right? This is what's going to happen. He's going to die, right? Is he going to pay the mortgage on the house for the doll to reside in? And then put the doll in a fucking armchair, and then sat next to it is like all his fucking money. What's going to happen? Is it going to be in a bank account for the doll under the doll's name? Who's going to draw it out? Who's going to do any transaction with it? Is it a doll bank? Is he going to create the first doll bank for people in a similar situation? I'm like, is this fucking la-la? What's going on? But this is the same again. It's like twisted shit. It's like that video that I just uploaded. People see it as normal and well, that's the way the world's going. We're going to Rome. When you're thinking you can leave money to your doll, what's your doll going to do? Even if it's AI, what's it going to do? It'd be interesting to know if the doll's been a casualty. You know what? I'm sure, imagine this, someone, because you know all the time, I've actually spoke to nurses, men and female nurses, female and male nurses, that have spoke openly about people that come back or come to the A&E with very unusual things inserted in the rectum, yeah? So it happens for all fucking manner of reasons. And I wouldn't imagine it's just a gay thing either, you know what I mean? But imagine if your doll gets stuck on you. Imagine if your doll gets stuck on you and you've got work. You've got fucking work. Someone knocks on, you're expecting your mate round, and the door's open because he normally comes in because that's your mates, you know what I mean? How you doing, Phil? Oh, whoa. Well, what? So, you know, whatever connotation, think about it. It's crazy. It's crazy and it's twisted. I can't imagine ever a time where I'm resorting that low to do that. That is like, if you're going to do that, you might as well open up and call your toilet roll Jessica. Do you know what I'm saying? What's the difference? What's the difference? Any hole will do. Any fucking hole. You know what I mean? Take your door handle off. You know how there's always an hole? Call your door fucking Patricia. Save you 15 grand because you can pay up to 15 grand for these with full customization. I think they cost a few grand, and then, but it depends what you want. If you want them green looking like an elf, then you're paying for that shit. But if you don't want to pay that, yeah, a little cheap tip, your average door, take the handle off. Just make sure you rub a bit of sandpaper just so the wood's not rough. And even put a fucking face on the front of the door. You know what I mean? You could even get someone to start speaking to you on the other side of the door, like the door's talking to you. You know what I mean? What do you do? I mean, that's just as legitimate as doing that with the fucking life-size Barbie. So, yeah, well, yeah, you've got to be lonely, haven't you? You've got to be lonely. I mean, that is the issue. You've got to... I was going to say you've got to feel for people, but he's feeling his green elf while he's banging one out. I'm not going to say that. You've got to have sympathy for people who've got such low self-esteem and such low confidence levels that their only solace is to talk to a doll. They ain't ever going to respond to you, but you then have to create the personality that is going to respond to you. I mean, I always talk to the wife, and I know what my wife, or what I should say is, I know what I would like my wife to say back to me. Fucking hell, don't we all? You know what I mean? Hey, love, what you saying about tonight? In that scenario, I know what my wife, I would love her to say to me. In reality, most of the time, I know what she says to me. But with a doll, you can just go, yeah, tonight's the night. Every night. Every night is party night. Oh, sick. 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 Oh, I'll read a few comments and I'm going to get going. And I've not got a doll in the cupboard, by the way. I've not. Just imagine now, anyone on this stream, yeah? You go and doing cleaning up looking for the Hoover, and then one of these dolls fall out in the cupboard. With all rips in it. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Brett. I'm sorry. It's very low grade stream. A very low grade stream. I just had to talk about it because it was so poignant in terms of the upload that I've just done, in terms of sexual Marxism, the toxicity and the sexualization of kids, and the open flaunting of anything goes in terms of sexuality. So that's why I felt this was relevant, and I'm just taking the piss about because I just find it weird. But I'm trying to understand the psychology, but it's not long before I get back to the weird door. Really, it's really not right. I can't see it. But £38 billion industry, there's plenty of people that if they're not talking about it, they're squeaking the hell out of their bed right now, or they're sat in a living room with frigging Xena the Warrior Princess and some green little funky elf having all kinds of conversations. So there's something not right, because even if this industry is not here, you still got a fucked up population that would do it. That's where the problem is. And it's like weird now, because it's almost like, it does feel like now that you can invent anything. You can invent having sex with anything if it's not already been done. And there'll be a niche for it. There will be a niche. There was one for having sex with cars, the exhaust pipes. Seriously? It's like, what? It is what it is. To me, it's a strange world. Strange world. But when you've got money in it, people are going to invent all kinds of stuff. Seen it. Seen it. You weren't revving it at the time, was you, Brett? Like, oh, yeah, a bit more. Oh, a 5 litre, like, fucking 24 fucking valve. Like, oh, I'm sorry. My own perversions are creeping out here now, and I don't mean it. And it's all going public. You duly stick to your watercolours. Honestly, it does make you want to go back to being a kid, doesn't it? You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, I just want to go back to being innocent again, because this gets too complicated. You know, let's face it, you go on a bus in the morning, let's look at it this way. I'm not saying think about it, but now I'm fit on this train of thought. There could be anyone on that bus who's just had intercourse with a doll, a milk bottle, a freaking door, toilet roll, the night before, even before they got on the bus. You don't know, do you? All you're seeing is they got their headphones on, just doing that with a phone. He could have been high-hole silver with his freaking pet pony. You know what I mean? It's like, weird shit. Weird. But behind closed doors, I guess. But even then, still weird. I'm sorry. But right, listen, guys, I'm going to get going. 49 minutes. That's enough time to be talking about sex dolls. Hey, pressing the bell on the bus with his semi. Oh, this is low grade now, isn't it? This is... I was getting a red pill Phil code for the discount for one of these dolls. Yeah, they've actually got one of me. Yeah. Let me get some lipstick on. Oh God, like, I'm reliving my fetishes now. So listen, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this stream. I've enjoyed it, but it's just funky. If you've seen it, then if you haven't, I hope it's enlightened you. But if nothing else, there's some kind of real kind of point to this all anyway. So tomorrow, I'm going to be hopefully going to see Billy. We're going to do a little interview in regards to another conviction, which has led to conviction actually going down again. So this is another tick for Pag. So I'm going to be going up to Billy, talking about that, getting a little piece of footage together, putting that out. I've still got the CSA, voicing CSA footage to collate. I was busy doing my last 2 uploads, so now I've got rid of that. I can kind of get that done. Other than that, this coming Sunday, I'm hoping to do a stream, and I'm hoping to have a very special guest, a guest who is normally on that side of the camera, but will be speaking on the other side of the camera as far as you guys are concerned. Hopefully sometime Sunday evening, if everything goes to plan. I don't want to say too much about it yet. I don't want to build it up. It's not that big a deal, because you'll know this person, because this person has been chatting to you on the comment section for the last few months. I once had sex with a woman. That's what it will be like in a few years. It'll be that easy just to do it with a doll. It'll be like novelty, and then people will start doing the female sex trade just to inject having human beings as popular again. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, let's hope it doesn't go that far. But yeah, so that's what's coming up on the channel anyway. I'd like to give a big thank you to the man Great Brit, always for supporting and being there with the spanner, the man himself. Yes, yeah. So nice one, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. Do whatever you do, stay away from anyone who's got a doll. You know what I mean? If you see a doll on the bed, seriously. Other than that, look after yourselves, stay safe, and it won't be long before something else will come up on this channel. So it's Red Pill Phil saying, I love you all, even the pissing haters. See you later, guys. Beware of them dolls.